YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back to Bananas Epic Gaming, and Patreon, how's it going? Today, we are filming an episode of CageTalk, the 39th episode, and that is gonna be the Wrestlemania Night 1 and 2 predictions, and the NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver predictions, Night 1 and 2. Before I get into my predictions, I want to give a special shout out to the subscriber of the month, Anessa Morella, who would like me to shout out her OnlyFans. And please go join her OnlyFans and tell her that I sent you. Now let's get into these predictions, starting off with NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. We're going to start off this video with match number 1 of NXT Stand and Deliver TakeOver Night 1. Io Shirai defending her Women's Championship against Raquel Gonzalez. Dakota Kai is probably banned from ringside, or she'll be ringside, I don't know. Now, you could have Io win here, and then who could beat Io? She's been the champion since the beginning of June. Or you could crown Raquel as your new NXT Women's Champion and move Io up to the main roster, which would be awful for NXT. So I have Io Shirai successfully defending her Women's Championship. Then she'll feud with Tara Valkyrie going into the summer. Now on to the next match. And the second match of night number 1 will be for the NXT United Kingdom Championship, as the longest reigning champion in NXT history, Walter, defends his baby precious title against the Psycho Killer, Tommaso Ciampa. Now, as much as I would love to see Ciampa win here, I don't see Walter dropping the title to Ciampa, because one is the NXT UK Championship. That would mean Ciampa would have to go overseas and defend it in the UK. So maybe Walter will win, and the guy that attacked him, I don't want NXT UK, but I know somebody attacked him and challenged him to a match in the future. Maybe that guy will defeat Walter, but I see Walter going over here. So my pick is Walter. The next match on night number 1 is going to be a triple threat tag team match, as the tag team titles are on the line. Who will be the new tag champions, as MSK goes up against Grizzled Young Veterans and Legado del Fantasma. The tag team champions Only Lorcan and Danny Burns had to vacate the title because I think it was Lorcan who separated his shoulder, and he's out for 4 to 8 weeks, which means he had to vacate the title. So you could go the Grizzled Young Veterans, who've had a successful year. You could have Legado Fantasma, who have been pretty dominant since arriving on the scene together and teaming up. Or you can have MSK, who have taken NXT by storm and who are starting to gather a big fan base, and who were big in Impact. I personally think that MSK will walk out of NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver as the new NXT Tag Team Champions. And they're going to have a crowning moment, and they can face Only Lorcan and Danny when they come back. Now on to the next match. And for night number 1, you have, I believe they're going to add another match. That'll be the NXT Women's Tag Team Titles. And you have the Gauntlet match. And they haven't announced the participants in the Gauntlet match. So I'm going to wait until they announce them. It is the 27th of March. So I will be back with it on, what is Wednesday's date? The 31st. and first. And I would like to take a second to please remind you guys to like and subscribe. Tap that little bell on the YouTube app so you guys never miss an upload. And this is the halfway point of the video. And let's get to the next match. Okay, so the next match, the Gauntlet Eliminator. There's actually, the competitors have been announced, and it looks like Roderick Strong, LA Knight, Kushida, Cameron Grimes, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Austin Theory, Bronson Reed, Dexter Loomis, Leon Rush, Pete Dunne, and I don't know who the other two are. I see the finals being Austin Theory and Loomis, and Dexter Loomis getting the win. I'm moving on to night 2 to face Johnny Gargano for the NXT North American Championship. Will Johnny Gargano fall victim to Dexter Loomis, or can Johnny Gargano keep his title reign alive? Now, the NXT Women's Tag Titles might be defended. I'll add them to the end of the next part immediately after. So let's get to night 2. Now, for the past several months, almost a year, we've had Santos Escobar claim to call himself the NXT Cruiserweight Champion because Jordan Devlin couldn't come overseas because of the pandemic. Now that Jordan Devlin is allowed to come overseas, we have 2 Cruiserweight Champions. So at NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver, we're going to crown an undisputed heavyweight Cruiserweight Champion. And it's going to be in a ladder match, which means these 2 guys are going to steal the freaking show. They're going to beat the holy hell out of each other, in my opinion. And who do I see walking away? Well, Santos Escobar has to go it alone because his boys are going to be having their hands full on night 1, maybe getting the living crap beat out of them. They might try to make the run down, but that won't matter. Jordan Devlin is going to beat Santos Escobar and retain his title and rightfully call himself the undisputed Cruiserweight Champion. Now on to the next match. And the next match is going to be Adam Cole, baby, versus his best friend Kyle O'Reilly in an unsanctioned match. Now these 2 are really going to beat the holy hell out of each other. Given that they're on night 2, give them maybe 15-20 minutes of in-ring action and they could steal the whole weekend. I personally would love to see Kyle O'Reilly go over, because then that could catapult him as the top babyface, or one of the top babyfaces in NXT. But he's not going to go over here because this feud is just getting started. If you have seen their work in Ring of Honor and you've seen their work outside of WWE, Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole are the best of friends and also the best of enemies. They match well together, and they could easily be one of the top feuds for years to come in WWE, along the lines with Owens and Zayn, and maybe get to the Rock and Austin level if they are booked right. I see Adam Cole going over. Maybe Adam Cole has help from somebody. Maybe he wins clean. Maybe he wins dirty. Who knows? But Adam Cole is my pick to go over here. Next match I would like to talk about is Johnny Gargano versus the winner of the Gauntlet in Night 1. And I have Dexter Loomis winning the Gauntlet. So Johnny Gargano versus Dexter Loomis. This is going to be an easy one for me. Johnny Gargano wins. Why does Johnny Gargano win? Because if my theory is correct, Blackheart and Moon are going to defend their women's tag team titles against The Way, Candice LeRae, and Indie Wrestling. TakeOver Stand and Deliver. And I'll get to that match later on. And spoiler alert, I have Candice LeRae and Indy winning the women's tag titles. Where the entire way has all the gold. Everybody has gold but Austin Theory. Then my theory would be Johnny loses to Theory after Theory helps Johnny win the NXT Heavyweight Championship later on down the line. Or they win the tag titles and Johnny becomes Johnny Two Belts. But Johnny Gargano is my pick to win here. And now the main event for night 2, but not the last match for NXT TakeOver I'm going to be talking about, is Finn Balor defending his NXT Heavyweight Championship against Karrion Kross with Scarlett at ringside. Now, when Karrion Kross unfortunately got hurt last year after he won the title, I predicted that he would come back, challenge Finn Balor for the heavyweight title, and win it at WrestleMania weekend, or win it on WrestleMania, because I thought they were going to put NXT TakeOver matches on the WrestleMania card, and Balor would have his WrestleMania moment, and Kross would have his, but they're both staying NXT. Unfortunately, that won't happen, and they are going to get their NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver moment, and these guys could have a match of the year candidate, and they could have a match of the weekend candidate, or they could completely shit the bed, but I don't see them doing that. I have Karrion Kross defeating Finn Balor after a hellacious match and becoming the 2-time NXT champion. And Finn will maybe go down and face Johnny Gargano, have a couple classic matches with him, and Karrion Kross will look for the next person that will try and take his title. Because TikTok, that won't happen. And just as I predicted, NXT tonight on the 31st of March, they announced another match. And that match is Kushida versus Pete Dunne. Now, I see these two having an outstanding match, a instant classic, and who do I see going over? Plain and simple, it's going to be Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne's going to go over, and he's going to get ready to challenge for the North American Championship down the road, maybe at the next TakeOver. Now on to the last NXT TakeOver match for this weekend. Now, the last match for NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver, and I believe this is night 2, is going to be Ember Moon and Sachi Blackheart. I call them Blackheart Moon. Will defend their women's tag team titles against Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, aka Indy Wrestling. Now, these ladies are going to have an amazing match. I already know it, because we've seen what Candice can do with Blackheart and Moon, and Indy is a great up-and-comer. But I'm going to have Indy and Candice LeRae take home the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships to the way. Yes, that is a problem, because that's 3 new champions in less than a month. But Candice LeRae deserves it. Candice LeRae is arguably one of the best women's wrestlers that WWE has on the roster. Yes, she hasn't won a women's title in NXT, or any title in the WWE yet. But good things come to those that wait. And Candice LeRae, this is your moment. You've had Rumble matches, you've had 5-star matches against EO, you had that good TakeOver match in War Games. This is your moment to win some gold. And arguably, the way could be the next best thing in WWE NXT. You have Johnny Gargano, who's going to get ready to move on to the main event and win the heavyweight title again, maybe. And you have Austin Theory, who can take over and win the North American Championship. Or if you don't want to have Johnny Gargano get killed by Karrion Kross, you can have him and Austin win the tag team titles. And they can have 4 of the, I think, 6 now championships in NXT, because you have the Cruiserweight, you have the Heavyweight, you have the Women's Tag Team, Women's, and North American. So you have 5. And it all starts with this. Candice LeRae is going to pin Blackheart and win the Women's Tag Team Championships, in my opinion. And that does it for NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. And they only said 5 because the other one is the NXT Tag Team titles for the men's, and we don't have champions right now. But, anyways, moving on. Before we get to the WrestleMania predictions, I have some sad news I want to talk about. Okay, so as many of you may know, I went to Rincon University High School in 2008 to 2012, my senior year. And I played on the football team. And I had the privilege of knowing a young man named Tremaine LeSean Matthews Garcia. And he was a few years older than me. I considered him a good friend. He was a good teammate. He always looked out for his friends and his teammates. And I lost touch with him after he graduated. And I saw him a few times around town after I graduated. I would say hi, we would say hi, I would say how are you doing, we would catch up a little and we would go our separate ways. But last week he's sadly passed away. I don't know how he passed away, but when I found out I was really upset. Tremaine had such a huge heart. He had such a bright future. And the fact that his time got cut short here breaks my heart. He was loyal. He was a good friend, a good brother, a good cousin, a good son. And he was somebody that you wanted to be in your life. Because Tremaine always wanted what was best for his friends. He always had a smile on his face. And when I say this, I mean it. Tremaine, I can speak for myself, and I can speak for many others. We miss you. And we will see each other again someday. I know that when it comes my time. And until then, brother, rest easy. Godspeed. And I hope that we all make you proud, because we were proud to have you in our lives. Because you touched so many people's lives that you don't even know. You stood up for me when not that many people liked me and would make fun of me. And I'm forever grateful for that. I'm forever grateful for your friendship. Tremaine, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. And like I said, I'll see you again someday. And I'll try to have as many stories as I can to tell you. And to his family, I'm sorry that you lost him. I really am. My thoughts and my prayers and my heart goes out to you. And I'm always here. Now, let's get to the predictions. Let's talk about WrestleMania Night 1 and 2. Starting off with the first match on the WrestleMania card that I have written down is going to be for the WWE Championship, when Drew McIntyre challenges Bobby Lashley with MVP for the WWE Championship. Now this match I could really care less about. If it was booked better, then maybe. And they only turned Bobby Lashley heel because they knew, since this would be the first time that fans are in attendance, Bobby Lashley would get cheered. And they want to push Drew McIntyre as a babyface, and McIntyre would have gotten booed. So, with that being said, what do I hope happens? I hope that Bobby Lashley wins and wipes the floor with McIntyre. But it might be McIntyre as I think about it. But I'm going to go with what I would do. I would let Bobby Lashley win. The next night on Raw, I would let Brock Lesnar come out and build towards Lashley versus Lesnar for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam. So my pick is Bobby Lashley. And now on to the next match. And the next match is the Night 2 match, and it is going to be for the WWE United States Championship as Riddle defends against Sheamus. Now, I don't give two flying craps about this match. This is going to be a snooze fest for me. What I would have done, I would have either had the U.S. title or the IC title being a ladder match. But if they have the men's tag titles for SmackDown being a ladder match, then I'll be okay with this being a one-on-one. And they have the Battle Royal, I'll be okay. Because get as much people as you can, because you have a talent roster full of people in the back that deserve to be on the card. That helped carry WWE through the pandemic year. So, I don't know much about this feud that's going on with these two. But I see Matt Riddle winning. Maybe winning in like 8 seconds by knocking Sheamus out. If they do that, that'd be kind of funny that history repeats itself because Sheamus did that to Daniel Bryan. So Matt Riddle's my pick. Now on to the next match. Next match is going to be Braun Strowman versus Shane O'Mac in a steel cage match. This match is basically just to get Strowman on the card and let Shane McMahon jump off of something. Maybe he's going to jump off of the pirate ship, and it's going to be like a pinfall and submission only in the cage. They're going to go out of the cage. He's going to do an elbow drop onto the pirate ship, off the pirate ship. I don't know. But Braun Strowman is going to win this. If you think Shane McMahon is going to win this, you're crazy. Now on to the next match. Next match is going to be for the WWE Raw Women's Championship as Asuka defends against Rhea Ripley for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. And this is going to be really good or going to be really, really bad. Because Rhea could lose again and that could maybe ruin her. Or she'll win and maybe Ronda will come out on Raw or Becky will come back. I would like that. Becky versus Rhea in a match for the Women's Championship down the line. Or maybe somebody's coming back to challenge Rhea. Because Rhea's won the championship and Asuka's going to go have that surgery in her teeth that she needs. Because he got her teeth knocked out. Now on to the next match. And this is going to be Rhea's redemption because she got beat last year by Charlotte, who's luckily not on the WrestleMania card because of a false pregnancy test that WWE had. So Rhea, this is your lucky time. Win the Women's Championship and shine, baby, shine. Now let's get to the next match. Next match will be the New Day defending their Raw Tag Team Championships against AJ Styles and Omos. Now, interesting fact here. If AJ Styles wins, AJ Styles will become a Grand Slam champion. He's held the Intercontinental title. He's held the WWE title, obviously. He's held the United States title. He's held... Tag title is the only one that he hasn't held besides the Universal. He doesn't need to hold that right now. So AJ's going to win, and Omos is going to be a champion. I see AJ doing the most work, and AJ getting another one at WrestleMania is best for business. And he goes from wrestling The Undertaker to wrestling Kofi and Xavier in a tag match. Hopefully next year they have something better for him. But this puts AJ's Hall of Fame nods a little higher. AJ Styles will pin Kofi Kingston. Now on to the next match. And the next match is going to be The Miz with John Morrison going up against Bad Bunny with Damian Priest. Now, plain and simple, Miz is going to win. If he doesn't win, it's going to be because of Priest getting involved. But I see Miz winning and trying to move on to win the Money in the Bank again. And if he does that, he will officially erase Punk and he'll be a 3-time Money in the Bank winner. And then he will cash in the night after Mania. I said that if they do this match for The Miz at WrestleMania, he'll cash in either that night or the night before. Or night after. Because this WrestleMania was originally supposed to be in LA, and it's a Miz cashing in LA in his quote-unquote hometown. Perfect. But they moved it to Florida again, and now it will be Florida, Texas, and then LA. But Miz going over Bad Bunny is what's best for business. Don't let WWE please don't let Bad Bunny win. Let The Miz win. He's one of your best guys on your roster. That you guys basically homegrown talent. Now on to the next match. And now the next match is going to be The Fiend with Twisted Bliss against Randy Orton. I think originally this was going to be a Firefly Funhouse match, but they changed it because this is going to be with live audience members. So, best case scenario, Randy puts The Fiend over, and The Fiend is 2-0 at WrestleMania, and Alexa Bliss has her WrestleMania payday, but does not get hurt. That's the best case scenario. Worst case, Randy squashes The Fiend, and it makes no sense. Fiend just came back, new look, and her and Bliss could start to slowly get momentum, and maybe The Fiend could go for the WWE Championship. And if you want to take it off The Fiend, you don't have to worry about his undefeated streak because he's not undefeated anymore. So he can lose at any time because it's not at WrestleMania. And The Fiend beating Orton is what is best for business. WWE, please don't mess this up. Let Alexa Bliss interfere. Try to go for the RKO. She throws a magic fireball in Randy's face when the referee's down, and The Fiend hits the mandible claw. And Randy passes out as the referee comes to. So The Fiend going over is my prediction. Now on to the next match. And the next match on my list is going to be Seth Rollins, the Messiah, going up against Swiss Superman Cesaro. Cesaro finally has a WrestleMania singles match. It only took him forever. And I see these two having a knockout, drag-about match, stealing the show on Saturday night, April the 10th. And I honestly do believe that Seth Rollins will put Cesaro over. And then with this win, Cesaro could be a serious contender of winning the Money in the Bank. Because Cesaro, he needs to win the WWE Championship before he retires. He is that dang good. This man would do anything for the wrestling company, and he would not ask for anything in return. He broke his teeth. He took some time off, got his teeth drilled in, and he came back. And he's been great ever since. You put him with somebody, tag team wise, he's good. Sheamus, good. Him and Tyson Kidd were phenomenal. You can put him with anybody, and he will mash well together with them. Best case scenario of this match, Buddy Murphy comes back and he tries to screw over Rollins. And Cesaro wins, and him and Buddy Murphy can maybe be a tag team, and Cesaro can win the Money in the Bank, and he can help Buddy Murphy win a title. Because I don't know what they're doing with Buddy Murphy. They dropped the Aaliyah storyline, and I actually like Aaliyah. I like seeing her on WWE TV because she deserves it. She's not a toxic second generation superstar, but she just wants to learn the business and maybe go into acting, or maybe because Dominic Mysterio is doing the wrestling of the family. So my pick is going to be Cesaro pinning Rollins after a hellacious match. Now on to the next match. The next match is going to be Big E defending his WWE Intercontinental title against Apollo Crews. Now, this match, I would have liked to see it being a multi-man ladder match or whatever, but I get why they're doing a one-on-one to give Apollo and Big E their time to shine. Apollo's in the middle of a nice little push, and Big E's going to eventually get catapulted to the main event scene for the heavyweight title. I see Big E and Cesaro and Rollins being 3 men in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Maybe with the Miz, 4 men in the Money in the Bank ladder match right there. I would take Apollo Crews here. Put the belt on him and let him run with it. Apollo, he's went back to his old indie gimmick and it's working for him on the WWE main roster. And Big E doesn't need the Intercontinental title right now. You can let Apollo Crews do his thing and kill it in the mid-card, and maybe in like a year or so, let him go try to be a main eventer, because Apollo Crews can go, in my book, and in many people's books. Just book him right. Now on to the next match. The next match is going to be on night 2, is going to be Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn with his entourage, and special guest, Logan Paul. Yeah, Logan Paul is going to be on SmackDown this week, and I see him sticking around and being on WrestleMania, and he's gonna eat a stunner, 100%. He's gonna eat a couple stunners. I hope from Kevin Owens. What would make me happy and a lot of people happy if referee gets knocked out, Sammy and Logan and the entourage are beating the crap out of Kevin Owens, and Conor McGregor comes out, knocks out Logan Paul, and knocks out Sami Zayn, and lets Kevin Owens hit the stunner. 1, 2, 3. Kevin Owens wins. That would make people happy, because Sami Zayn gets beat, Conor McGregor's in WWE, and Logan Paul gets his ass kicked and humiliated. Sorry about cussing. So my pick is going to be Kevin Owens winning here. Now on to the next match. And the next match is going to be a triple threat match for the Universal Championship. This will be the main event for night 2, and it will be Daniel Bryan going up against their 2021 Royal Rumble winner Edge, going up against Roman Reigns with the Bloodline and Paul Heyman at ringside. Now, I think this is probably Daniel Bryan's last WrestleMania as a full-time active roster member, and Edge obviously just turned heel. And Roman Reigns is one of the top heels in wrestling. All of pro wrestling, all the companies combined right now. You could easily piss people off and have them win. Because the things that I've been hearing, that they're going to build Roman up, let him hold the title until WrestleMania 39 in LA. Because they want to have Roman versus The Rock at WrestleMania. And they're going to have Rock pass the torch to his cousin. Then I think that's when somebody will cash in on Roman and win. You could go the other route, have Edge win, and when it gets closer to WrestleMania 39 in LA, you could have Roman win the title back. Or you could give Daniel Bryan one last run as an active roster member, because he's not going to want to take the title away from somebody that deserves it, and that deserves the recognition of being the guy, or a heavyweight championship material, because Daniel Bryan was told he would never be the heavyweight champion in WWE. Me, what I would do, it's a tough one. I love Daniel Bryan. He's a great wrestler. I love Edge. He was one of my favorites growing up. And Roman Reigns is the top heel in the company. So I see Roman Reigns cheating, because it is a no DQ match. When the other Uso comes back, super kicks Edge, and the Usos and Roman pummel down Daniel Bryan. Superman punch. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns is still your Universal Champion. And you can believe that. Now on to the next match. Alright, the next match I want to talk about is for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. And it is Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defending their tag team titles against whoever wins the Women's Tag Team Gauntlet match. And I see Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler retaining, simply because I don't see anybody beating them anytime soon for their titles. Now on to the next match. Okay, so the next match is the Women's Tag Team Gauntlet match. I have the Riot Squad winning. If Billie Kay and Bayley are somehow a tag team in it, I have them winning. And Peyton, I hope they do something with her soon. Now on to the next match. And the next match is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And we didn't have one last year, so I see them going all out for this. And the participants are, so far, Akira Tozawa, Angel Garza, Cedric Alexander, Drew Gulak, Elias, Eric from the Viking Raiders, Grand Metalik, Humberto Carrillo, Jackson Riker, Jay Uso, Kalisto, King Corbin, Lance Dorado, Mace, Murphy, Mustafa, Ricochet, Benjamin Nakamura, Slapjack, T-Bar Tucker. This is easy. I have them putting Nakamura over here because Nakamura deserves it. And maybe they can start giving this one meaning. Like, if you win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, you get a future WWE Championship match at Money in the Bank. or you get a shot to be in the Money in the Bank. Make this worth something. Give the person a WWE title match at the next pay-per-view. Now on to the next match. And the last match that I want to talk about is for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship, as the Boss, Sasha Banks, defends her title against the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair. Now, Sasha Banks has had a rough title reign history in WWE. And this title reign she's on now has arguably been her best one since her NXT Women's title reign. And I'm so proud of her. She has shown that she can go, and she has shown the man in charge that she is the real deal. Sasha Banks is arguably one of the best female wrestlers on the WWE roster, and that's saying a lot because they have a tremendous amount of talent on the female locker room. And Bianca Belair, talk about a homegrown talent. She is not one of the best. She's arguably one of the strongest because she killed it at the NXT Combine. She's one of the fastest. She's one of the smartest. And if you ask me, one of the nicest human beings that has ever stepped foot in a wrestling ring. And I know that because I met her. I really hope that these two ladies get to close out the show because they deserve it. Especially Banks and Bianca because they helped carry the WWE through the pandemic era. Sucks that Bayley is not on the card because she carried the WWE through the pandemic era also. But Bianca Belair, I see her winning, becoming, I believe, the second Women's Rumble winner to win, and Sasha might go to Raw. So my pick for this match is Bianca Belair winning the Women's Championship for the first time. And now, I just want to say, go kill it, ladies. I know you will. You deserve it to main event, night one. So that's going to do it for this episode of Bananas Epic Gaming. But I want to remind you guys that for the NFL Draft, I'm talking to a few of my friends. We might do a live reaction of the NFL Draft. So stay tuned for that. And the Mortal Kombat review will be coming soon, as long as everything goes as planned, along with the Conjuring series ranking. And then the Wrong Turn series ranking. And I'm going to do the Scream series ranking soon. And then the Jurassic series ranking, Park and World. So please be sure to smash that like button, tap the bell on that YouTube app so you never miss an upload. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Happy Easter, and God bless you all. Peace. I love you. Oh, before I go, if you want to win a signed NFL jersey, please become a subscriber because at 200 subs, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. And I'm going to be doing it at random. So message me on Twitter. Tweet at me as @Cage211. And I'll put you in the raffle. And if you win, you just message me what you want me to send it to. And I'll send you the jersey that I'm going to be giving out for the giveaway. That is really going to do it for this one. Take care. Happy Easter again. Good night. God bless. And I love you all. I'll see you guys on the next one.